Hello, it's me again, Carol. Welcome to Reverse the Evolution, where I talk about evolved issues. Well, tonight I want to talk a little bit about how it's still very difficult for me to evolve. I'm human. I'm still a monkey. I can't help some of the feelings I've got. And part of my reverse de-evolution and my mental wellness process and the IQ is that I admit my feelings, admit some of my primate stuff. But I'm still trying to rise above it because there's something that I understand a little bit better. I had a talk with my mentor a few moments ago, and we were talking about one of the songs or maybe several of the songs that I have been generating on my turquoise station. I have been generating quite a few songs now about my feelings. Maybe it's limerence, but at least it's limerence on someone who's not alive right now. It's someone that I can fantasize about without feeling too guilty. Now, maybe in some belief systems and in some schools of thought and religions, people might think that to desire someone is to covet them, is to have them, at least in my mind. And I'm pretty happy in an arrangement right now. I have a roommate and I have an arrangement, and I'm pretty satisfied with that life. But I still have feelings for a certain public figure. And that public figure that I have a little crush on right now, that I'm thinking about right now, the public figure that I especially think about a little bit at this time of the year, going a little close, but not quite right now, but a little bit close to October 6th, was the day he was assassinated, October 6, 1981. And I know that many people were angry with him. I know that some Americans are probably angry with him too, including myself, because he left out direct Palestinian participation in the Camp David Accords, the peace talks. And I'm pretty upset about that. But the man does have charisma. He does have a certain charm. Now I'm gonna go a little easier on my late aunt now, because she told me back in 2008 that she wanted me to vote for Barack Obama, and I asked her why, and she goes, "Oh, he'll be a good president. He's a nice guy, and he's handsome, And I thought, wait a darn minute, Auntie, you have a crush on presidential candidate Barack Obama. And I thought, yeah, well, I also have had a crush on Anwar Sadat since I was 12. When I was 14, he was assassinated. October 6th, I was going to school. I was in middle school. I was going to Horace Mann. And I found out at school, or I found out right before I went to school. Yeah, actually, I found out before I went to school, because in those days we had newspapers, and it was on the front page. President Anwar Sadat, whose peace with Israel, yada yada yada, was assassinated yesterday. And I guess maybe it was October 7th that I got the newspaper article, but October 6th was the day he was assassinated. And my mentor had to remind me to put politics on one part, and romantic feelings on another part of the spectrum, or another part of the spectrum. I admire him romantically. If I didn't know any better, I'd totally fall in love with him. But I'm not quite completely into him because I don't support him politically. I don't like how he left out um, the PLO, or the Palestinian, the real complete Palestinian movement. You can look up Anwar Sadat and Palestine and how it might relate to today. So my mentor and I had a discussion, and we both agree that it doesn't mean that I support him politically, but it does mean that I have a crush on his personality. And the kind of person, I learned something about myself. I like someone who has a strong personality and who does seem to believe in peace. But there's one caveat. There's one aspect here. In the psychological community, and in the mental health community, and in the spiritual community, we have been in touch with the idea that covert abuse makes people look really good on the outside. It makes people look really good in appearance, but they could be doing stuff that's abusive behind our backs, or or without no one's looking, and or covering it up. And Anwar Sadat seemed to be a very charismatic, kind person, but politically, it disturbs me that he's leaving out Palestine. He's leaving out. I think technically it was included in the peace talks, but it wasn't really carried out because some people were really upset with him, and it was Egyptian soldiers that shot him, Egyptian extremists that shot him. But I know that other people were very mad at him. Palestinians were very mad at him about it, and some Egyptians were really mad at him. And I'm angry about that. But romantic feelings, it's like you can lose a crush on someone if you find out they're an asshole. But sometimes you don't lose the crush. But I'm trying to separate the crush from the political stuff. I don't support him politically, but I felt guilty about it, especially generating those songs. When I make AI songs, it's usually reflecting of my feelings or what I'm working on in my mental wellness process. I'm working on a song right now about feeling like too much, and in the turquoise space, I'm not too much. It's a healing color and it embraces me. I'm working on that song, having a little trouble getting the AI to get it right, but I'll get there. I've also been doing stand-up comedy since I have stage fright, and since I need to work on my delivery. I'm also experimenting with AI, and not only am I experimenting with AI with my stand-up comedy material that I'm developing, I also seem to be unfolding a storyline about my mental wellness center. I'm doing like a parody. Not that it's a funny thing, but it's like almost like I'm making a movie or a story about the mental wellness center, and it's a virtual, imaginary mental wellness center. It doesn't exist in real life. My idea is, if I could have a mental wellness center in real life, that would be what it would be like. And some stories are unfolding there in the imaginary world, the mental wellness center, and some parodies, some funny ones, maybe some more will be coming up that are a little more serious. I've been writing stuff about my life. There's a character I made up in the mental wellness center named Melissa, and there's another person I made up named Trevor, and Trevor's the guy, fixing the place and all that, and the woman, there's a woman who who fought me a couple of times because the disco ball fell down on the dance floor, and another time the Trevor spilled pizza on the dance floor, and she slipped and her heel got stuck and broke from cheese on the floor. So it's just a bunch of funny, silly stuff too. So I don't know, a lot of stuff seems to be unfolding. I'm doing experimentation with AI, with Refusion, doing comedy. I might do some organic stuff too eventually as I get over my stage fright. I don't like doing stand-up. You know, it's... Thing is, I don't know if I'm funny enough, but these voices on the AI are hilarious, and they make my antics and stories and anecdotes sound funnier than they might be. So it's delivery I want to work on. But anyway, separating Anwar Sadat's crush from his politics, that's the tricky thing. Back in the day, I don't know if I would have been able to do that. We've been doing lots of study in the community about in the world, the real world, about how narcissistic abuse can be so insidious. An abuser can really look good and hook you in, and yet be so awful. So I don't want to think that Anwar Sadat is like that, but maybe he is, maybe he isn't. The idea of him abandoning a whole civilization, a whole group of Arabs. And maybe right now what's going on in Palestine can have a connection to the decision he's made with the peace talks. I don't think it's all that direct and cut and dry, but I bet it was connected. And that disturbs me a great deal, to have a crush on someone who could have done something like that. Yeah, I needed to make a video about that. So if you're listening to the Turquoise station and you're hearing those songs, it's really about the crush. It's about processing my feelings about him. A lot of my songs are designed to process feelings and work through insightful stuff. Alright, I hope you guys are safe. Keep watching. I'll keep putting them on. Alright, keep putting on songs on my other channel, and I'll try to put up videos on this channel as well. This channel needs some work. And thank you, new subscribers. Peace.